Imagine a world where the house still stands, but the hand that filled the bowl has vanished without a trace. For this golden retriever, the silence of the suburbs is a question his loyal heart was never built to answer. He does not understand that the disappearance of humans has turned his devotion into a slow and certain death sentence. In this new era, survival does not favor the faithful. It rewards only those who can forget they ever had a master. Dawn breaks over a silent residential street where the absence of human activity has become a permanent condition of the world. A single 28-kilogram male golden retriever remains at his post on a familiar porch, waiting for a master who will not return. After weeks of outdoor exposure, his golden coat has become matted and coated in fine dust, a body slowly losing its keeper. Selective breeding and generations of conditioning have hardwired this animal to find his purpose only within a human-led structure. He executes his daily routine with unwavering precision, patrolling the driveway, guarding a front door that no longer opens for him. He overrides the growing signals of hunger because his domestic instincts place the protection of home above the drive to feed. While other predators widen their territory, this dog remains confined to a small radius of familiar streets and fading memories. Conditioning prevents him from entering the grocery store, where sealed calories sit undisturbed behind glass doors just meters away. Energy reserves deplete steadily as the domestic urge to wait continues to overpower the primal command to hunt. The city is structurally intact, every house closed, every car still, a world preserved and entirely empty of comfort. No electricity hums in the lines overhead, and the stillness of the urban district settles like a weight around the dog. He watches pigeons gather at the park fountain, but he holds his position uncertain, tail slow, no predatory instinct rising. His first attempt at a hunt is a clumsy and untrained charge that ends the moment the birds lift into the open sky. Each failed pursuit burns more of his remaining reserves than any catch could ever hope to restore. He returns to the porch to conserve what little he has left, while his body begins to document the cost of waiting. His frame, once muscular and full, is now visibly diminished, each movement slower, more deliberate, more expensive than the last. Domestication has constructed a biological trap. In this dog, loyalty functions not as a virtue, but as a mechanism of self-destruction. He watches the sun arc across the sky, while his internal clock continues to track the ghost of a schedule no longer kept. At the hour he was always fed, he stands over his empty bowl, present, punctual, and entirely alone. The bowl ritual is a behavioral failure in progress. It redirects his final reserves of focus away from the necessity of finding food. The streets offer nothing back. The dog continues to hold his ground, guardian of a world that has already ended without him. Rain washes the surface dust from his coat, but it cannot replace the calories his body has already spent on waiting. He investigates an overturned bin with care and purpose, and finds nothing, only plastic and metal, where food should have been. His weight has fallen below 20 kilograms, and his ribs press visibly through the thinning gold of his coat. He is emaciated and failing, and yet at every sunset, he still pulls himself to the front gate to face the empty road. He looks down the long asphalt road into the fading horizon, and his own eye reflects back only the emptiness ahead. This repeated return to the gate is not hope in any functional sense. It is the last loop of a program that cannot stop running. The silence of the suburb is broken only by the shallow labor of his breath and the wind moving through the unmowed grass. Two things remain on this street that the world left behind: a weathered poster on a pole and a dog who never left his post. He lacks the aggressive override required to break into a neighbor's home. His training holds, even as his body fails. He is confined by the invisible architecture of his own conditioning, while his metabolism crosses the threshold of no return. His golden eyes have gone dull and flat as he rests his chin on the cold concrete, the light of alertness fully spent. The attempt to lift his head fails a few centimeters, then down the body has reached the edge of what loyalty can physically sustain. His paw twitches once, briefly, as if running somewhere in a dream. Then the movement stops, and the silence returns. In the second year of the silence, he can no longer stand to greet the light. The morning comes, and he does not rise. He lies in the warm dust at the edge of the driveway, a faint pulse still turning in his neck, a fly landing uncontested on his ear. A distant gate slams in the wind, and one eye opens scanning, brief, then closes again. The sound was not what he needed it to be. Beside him lies the faded tennis ball, its fibers gone gray, its color bleached away, but he is not looking at the ball. He never was. In the final light of the day, his chest falls one last time and does not rise, and the house behind him remains exactly as it was. Contrast this with the dark shapes moving through the industrial shadows nearby, fast, low, and entirely without sentiment. This pack of former strays travels the streets with a precision that has nothing to do with obedience and everything to do with survival. They were never burdened by the weight of devotion, never shaped by the long architecture of a domestic life. They thrived because they possessed the cognitive flexibility to let the memory of their human handlers dissolve completely. They do not wait at doors or stand watch over empty porches. They hunt in coordinated formations and feed without hesitation. They have shed the habits of the pet and reclaimed something far older, the operational logic of the wolf. The pack detects the scent of a feral hog that has moved into the residential district, and the lead dog drops its body low. They execute a flanking maneuver with cold efficiency. 2 dogs left, 2 dogs right, closing the geometry of the trap. Success for these animals is measured in protein and continued life, not in the approval of a leader who no longer exists. The retriever watches them pass from his place on the porch. His eyes track their movement, but his body cannot follow. He is a remnant of a vanished civilization. They are the first draft of what comes next. The feral dogs carry their history in scar tissue and shortened coats, evidence of a world they have already learned to navigate alone. They do not pause to consider what is permitted. They kill, scavenge, and claim, because those are now the only rules that remain. The golden retriever closes his eyes for the final time as the sounds of the pack dissolve into the evening air. His death is not a failure of strength. It is the precise and predictable outcome of a behavioral system that outlasted its context. The world the retriever was built for has dissolved, and he dissolved with it, tethered to a shore that no longer exists. The city stands intact and empty, its hierarchy of life quietly rewritten by the simple logic of adaptation over attachment. The surviving dogs look at a human house and see a resource, a cave, a shelter, a cache, not a covenant. The retriever's collar lies in the dust where he last lay, a circle of leather, a tag with a name, and a silence that answers nothing. He stayed to guard a shadow while the rest of the living world moved forward, and the night came down over everything he waited for. The dogs that succeeded did so because they severed the behavioral dependency before it could become a terminal condition. They did not experience the empty streets as absence. They experienced them as space, and they filled it. The pack rests in the warm grass of the park, breathing slow and even alive because they chose the world over the memory of a door. Every breath the surviving dog draws from this high vantage point is a quiet testament to the survival value of letting go. The world belongs now to the animals that moved forward, that read the dust and the silence, and chose correctly to hunt.